Hey guys, Nick here with KG Fireworks, and this is the first video in a series of videos on how to add bottle rockets easily to your backyard fireworks show. Obviously we can always light bottle rockets off one at a time, and then that's fun, but they can actually be used in groups to add a really cool effect to your display. They're inexpensive, they're easy to use, so we've decided to put together a couple videos on how we use them in our shows using a few different methods. So check out this video and tell us what you think. This is certainly not the only way to do it, and if you decide to put together your own project, we'd love to see what you're coming up with. So email us over at info@kgfireworks.com and show us what you're working on. And lastly, a big shout out to Dave over at pyrotalk.com. If you haven't checked out his website, check it out, pyrotalk.com, or his YouTube channel at Display Fireworks 1. He provided a lot of sort of the inspiration and fusing methods that we use, so we definitely got to say thanks to him. So check out this video and have fun. This is a bottle rocket launcher that we've made. We use a lot of bottle rockets in our shows. Mainly because we've been using them ever since the first show we did, you know, when all we could afford was like bottle rockets. And so we've just continued to use them because they add a nice effect in the show without adding a lot of cost. So the ones we like to use are Silvertail bottle rockets, also called Silver Streak or Silver Fox or whatever. But they've got this really nice silver glittery tail that follows them as they go up. And these ones have a report at the top as well. So it's just really nice. It adds a nice little effect. Like I said, this is 2 packages of 12 for each row. And so we like to use it, you know, at times when you know, we want to accent certain things, or as fillers in slower parts of the show where maybe you've got 1 or 2 cakes going and you want to just add some silver effect off to the sides, or we set these up so that they can you know, cross to the middle, or they can go straight up and down, and so that's how we like to use them. So we fuse them up, and I'll show you a little bit of a video of how we fuse them. Okay guys, so now for fusing, what we're going to need is some of Dave's Magic Tape. Again, this stuff is awesome. This is our first year that we used it in our fireworks display, and it made everything so easy. It's really sticky, it's super easy to tear. Great for fusing things together. Really highly recommended. It's like $3 or $4 at your local U-Haul store. You can get it. So again, thanks Dave for that tip. So what you'll need is some of that, or some other inferior tape if you can't get your hands on that. We're gonna wire this one up 2 different ways. Number one, you got the slow visco fuse, and what this is used for is if you're looking to just kind of slowly time things out. You don't really care too much about whipping through stuff fast. This is our medium speed. This is, I think, 4 seconds a foot, and then we use our quick fuse here if we want to really get through our bottle rockets quick. Like for instance, if we want to you know, do a finale or something, we want all of them in the air at the same time, we'll wire it up with this. And then of course your fastest is Quick Match. This is Pyro Formex, it looks like. And the Quick Match here, this is waterproof Quick Match, so it's got this protective coating on the outside. Some of Dave's Magic Tape. We'll just do that much of it. Okay. And we're actually going to just go ahead and cut it in half. See if you can see what I'm doing here. It's really sticky. It's great to use. Makes life so much easier. We've tried several different ways of connecting fuses together, from using little strands of copper wire. That's one thing we saw online. Using little plastic zip ties and things like that, which can get expensive. This stuff is cheap. It is awesome. I highly recommend it. So, okay. So we got the half strip down, and I'm actually just going to take a little extra piece of the Magic Tape just to hold the ends down. It makes it a little bit easier for working on this if you got the ends held down a little bit. Just like that. Okay, so we taped down the 2 edges of the Dave's Magic Tape here, and we got our green fuse. We're going to go ahead and lay that across there, right down the middle of the tape, just like that. Alright, then we go ahead and just take our rockets, and really the most important thing here is that the tip, at the very tip of fuse there, ends up touching the Visco fuse. So when you set the next one in, you just want to make sure that it's touching the main fuse at the tip. Okay, so we're getting all these put in here. I'm not sure if you can see this, so let me turn it this way here. Right here. Okay, so we're just loading each one into each straw, and then just making it so that all those ends are touching right to that Visco fuse. Now, this is a smaller one than we usually use, and so we typically have a little bit more space in between the rockets and everything. So I'm a little bit concerned that these might go off a lot faster, even though using the Visco fuse, just because the actual rocket fuses are so close to each other, but we will see that. Now, if you wanted to, you could just run this around and wire up another row, just like that, making sure, you always want to make sure that if the fire's coming this way, the connecting fuses are always going this way, facing into the fire, because that's where they're meant to ignite from. So, coming down this way, if you were to roll it down this way, you'd want those fuses to be, the rocket fuses to be facing that way to receive the incoming fire. But for what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead and cut this off, because what we need to do now is just simply fold over the tape right on top of all the work you just did. And what that's going to do is just hold all of those little fuses in place. You kind of even, and this stuff is so sticky you don't have to worry about it coming up at all. Go like that, and then you've got an end that you can either hand light, or you can use an electronic igniter, a consumer, or an e-match, or whatever, and light that puppy off. So there's one row. All right, we'll get the other one, and then we'll show you what we do next. But once it's all fused up, we end up with our fuses here. And what we can do is we can either hand light these, or we can use some of the consumer igniters. We use the Talon igniters at this point, and they've worked out really well out to the sides of the stage or out into the middle, just to kind of add another dynamic, visual dynamic to the show. So anyways, we're going to light this off for you and see kind of how it looks. But essentially, it's not too hard to make. Email me if you want the plans for them. I usually just kind of look around whatever scrap wood I have in my garage or whatever, and I just kind of make the size based on that. But this one has 2 rows for shooting. You know, like I said, it's supposed to be really super inexpensive. So it uses a couple of these paint sticks, mixing sticks as the uprights, and then some scrap wood that I got at Menards as the base. So, you know, like I said, we started making these when all we could afford was bottle rockets in the show. So we needed, obviously, to have some inexpensive mounting stuff that we had to do to get creative. So anyways, we'll show you how this looks and take it from there.